Hey guys, so when I got my car a few months back, I did some mods and made a video on them. New headlights, new speakers, just simple things. Now, because my car didn't come with a radio, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to do something fun. So I decided to mount a tablet as my head unit. Since then, I have modified it and I want to cover it more in depth. So I started out by measuring the dimensions of the dash, then drew them up on a piece of paper, slightly larger so I would have room to work with. Then I taped the piece of paper onto a thin piece of scrap wood and cut it out. After sanding it down and making sure it fit in the dash, I measured the screen size of the tablet and cut out the middle. Then I painted it black. This was my first version and it didn't turn out all that great. It was pretty rough around the edges and didn't look that good. Also, the tablet I had in there at the time was an HKC tablet, just a cheap standard Android tablet. Now, this seemed to work fine at first, but it started to have problems. It would make static noises because the headphone jack came loose, it would often die on me for no reason, and the battery was awful. So I would just never use it. Finally, I decided to switch it out for an iPad mini. I found a first generation used one online for about $150, and it was in great condition. My next design was to have the tablet flush with the wood. This would reduce the lip around the edge and make it easier to reach all the corners. So I did the same thing as before, but this time I cut out around the tablet itself. As you can see, the iPad is flush with the wood. After sanding it down and getting it to fit, I glued some pieces of wood to the back to keep the iPad in place. Next, I cut out a groove for the charging cable, then I added some tape to make sure it didn't fall out. The back doesn't look all that good, but it doesn't have to. The front is what matters. To make it look better, I decided to use some vinyl instead of black paint. By first filling in and taping around the seams with some packing tape, and also using a few layers of vinyl, I was able to get a pretty seamless look. Then all I had to do was cut out a camera hole. As you can see, the camera is fully functional, and all I have to do is just swipe up. I also used a lighter around the edges to mold the vinyl to the frame for a better fit. The stereo was made to work with an Apple device, so all I had to do was run a cord from the stereo in the glove box to the iPad, and it works great. As you can see, the music works and sounds great. It sounds great coming through the Bose speakers. I also get Wi-Fi in my driveway, so I can sync my music with iTunes over Wi-Fi when I want to add new songs. I can also surf the web and go on YouTube. I can also pair my phone to the tablet if I want Wi-Fi on the go. Because it's an iPad, I can also play games like Fruit Ninja. It's a great way to pass the time while driving. Just kidding, I don't do that. But if you're ever stuck in the car waiting for something, it's a great way to pass the time. So I hope you liked the video, and I hope you find this as cool as I do. If you want to try this and have any questions, message me on my Facebook page or send me an email. I'll try to respond as soon as I can. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like my Facebook and Instagram to get updates when I upload my next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Lago, whipping through Chicago. All these beautiful women follow wherever I go. $1 million deals on the table. Just a couple years ago I couldn't pay for cable. Growing up surrounded by cane like I was able. Shit was unstable, now Visionary's the label. Plus Def Jam, know who I am. I'm that motherfucker that do it just cause I can.